technique video for you. I get into an arm bar and I need to break these grips. I go to pull, I sit back. I know we've all been here at some point in our jiu-jitsu careers. We just can't do it. It's pain. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with a Kimura grip, like so. What I wanna do is I wanna take the knife edge of my wrists and apply them into Juliet's forearm, relax, into her forearm and her bicep, okay? What I mean by knife edge is the sides here, the blades of my wrist, okay? Not the like back bony side or like the fatty or muscly front side, okay? Not the soft sides. I want these hard bony edges, these blades of my wrist to be jammed up into Juliet's forearm and bicep. Alternatively, you can think about it as I wanna drive the back of my wrist into the crook of her elbow. Either way, it does take a little bit of odd flexibility here, but just a little practice, it's not too bad. And I'm gonna roll this hand up into position right here, like so. My other hand, I don't want to do all this work of getting this hand up high and then bringing my hand back down to connect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide this hand up. I like to just kind of finger walk it up until it's in range and I connect my wrists. Now from here, the second thing I really need to do is apply, you biting me? Okay. I need to apply motorcycle grips, okay? Active wrists. So what that looks like is I'm gonna roll both my wrists over. This might actually cause to break the grip right away, and I have a hunch on Juliet, this will be all I need to break her grip, okay? Once I get here, I'll sit back, I'll talk about that in a second. If that doesn't work, okay, and we're gonna pretend I have active wrists on it right now because I don't think Juliet can take this pressure. It's a lot of pressure. I can't take the pressure very easily. What I wanna do from here, assuming my wrists are active, I'm gonna think about pulling her arm up like so really sinking in that slicing feeling into the back of her forearm and her bicep. And I'm gonna take this hand and press it down, really creating a pretty nasty bicep slicer-esque feeling. She can open her grip and relieve the pressure, so it's not a bicep slicer yet. Once we're here, again, we're assuming this active wrist, but I'm just gonna do it without it so you can see how this works too. I'm gonna pull back, and this will also release her grips. Combined, it's very powerful, both, and I break the grip from here. From here, once I get this arm free, I do need to switch back to a baseball bat or whatever preferred arm bar break you have. Mind you, I'm keeping my legs relaxed just for the video. I would have everything tight, but once I break this grip, I'm gonna start falling back. At a certain point, right about here for me, I'm gonna feel like I'm wrist locking myself. The second I feel that pressure, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my thumb and pivot off her arm and spin around and grab her wrist. As this hand slides up, I might come all the way up to the arm or the thumb, sit back.
And get my finish.
Okay? Alternatively, a couple of variations, if you will. One, go ahead and make your grips, please. If this grip is not working, what you can do is if you need more pressure, sometimes you get some really big guys and they can resist this, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, they can resist this. What you can do here is called a gooseneck grip. Gooseneck grip is a great grip to use. It's a little variation. What happens is it takes out your wrist mobility, right? It doesn't take it into account because you can bypass it like so. So essentially what it is, I go from here and I get to here. This is really rough to deal with. And I use the same technique, drive her hand away, sit back and finish the arm. One other thing is she's using an S grip right now, but if she were to use a gable grip, what I would do is I would do this and drive her hand away from the opening of her hands, right? So she flips her hands the other way, so it's a little bit easier to see, right? So I drive here, I'll drive it this way, right? So that opening of her hands, I can separate her hands this way. Obviously I can't separate her hands this way because they're gonna run into each other, right? If she flips her hands, same thing. I can't drive her hands in together. I'm gonna separate them, okay? So I'm here, I'm gonna drive them away and back for the arm bar. If she flips her hands the other way, same thing, okay? If she goes for kind of the classic underneath here and this grip, right? I'm just gonna pull right through, boom. All right, if you have any specific grip breaks you want me to show or variations, I'd be happy to film it and I'll film it live even. Just leave a comment below of which grip break you'd like to see or which grip configuration, excuse me. Last thing, if you wanna throw the bicep slicer, so she's gonna be here. All I need to do for the bicep slicer to happen, I need to make sure that she can't release her arm. So her defense right here is gonna be to straighten her arm, straighten your arm, yeah. And then it falls right into the arm bar. What I can do is I can throw my leg over the top, triangle. Yep, you have to tap. And you tap, yeah. Yeah. So it's a lot of pressure, okay? If you wanna stick around for 1 second, I'll show you one more thing. Juliet, thank you, if you don't mind getting off camera for a second. The gooseneck, why this is so good. Let's assume that I'm grabbing somebody's arm right here, okay? Kimura, Americana, whatever you may have. If I look at my wrist mobility now, and if I think about the amount I can crank on something, I am limited by my wrist mobility. For me, I don't have much. I'm right here and I'm done. Some of you might be able to go a lot further, but you can't beat a gooseneck grip, because watch the difference. If I have a fist, right, and I'm using this as my grip, watch my mobility now. Remember, my wrist, I'm right here. Like, the sky's the limit. It's definitely a superior grip. It's not always necessary, but it's a good alternative to potentially limiting wrist mobility movement that you may or may not have. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.